bit. I mean, one of the things that's cool about a time jump is that, of this length, is that they've experienced a whole life while we were away, and so they've changed. And one of the fun things about the season is to see how they've changed. I think another thing, challenge for us as writers is to make sure that the changes make sense, make sure that it feels like they're still the people that we love, even though they, have grown or devolved in some cases. Because, growth isn't always in the positive direction, unfortunately.
Is there a new character dynamic between two characters that you want to tease for next season?
Yeah, I mean, Bellamy and his crew up on the ring, and Octavia and her crew under the ground, and Clark and her surrogate child on the ground are all so different. One of the things that's, I think, going to be fun and interesting about this season is they sort of had a way that they work together well, and now they're all going to kind of bump into each other and their leadership styles. Octavia I can't talk too much about what's happened to her down there because it's really one of the coolest stories that we're going to tell, and I want it to be fresh for people. But she is full on. That's all I'll say. She is full on, and Bellamy, Bellamy has become a leader in his own right on the arc. I think probably it's safe to say, not too much of a spoiler, that he has fulfilled Clark's desire for him in the finale when she said, she wanted him to use this and this, and so we'll see, fully realized heroic, holistic Bellamy, which would be cool for people. And Clark is Clark. She's always going to be a badass. She's always going to be in charge, but she has a child, really. I mean, that relationship is essentially mother-daughter, and if you have kids, the second you have children, your priorities change, and suddenly her crew is that child, that person, and, there'll be some interesting conflict if what's good for Maddie is not good for Skyfall, what's Clark going to do? And nobody else cares about Maddie the way Clark does, so.
What can you teach about Raven?
Raven continues to be, she's on a pedestal in my mind, really. So, and she'll continue. There's some really interesting Murphy Raven things happening, which I don't want to tease too much, but she continues. But she's the reason they're alive, really. She saved them so many times, and her journey continues. She's still wrestling with her disability. She's obviously overcoming it in many ways, in terms of still being the ass-kicking problem solver that she is, and that continues. So.
How will prisoners change the dynamic of the show and that they're an outside?
That's the A story for the season. That becomes the plot of movie number 5. There's a couple new characters that we'll meet, good and bad, heroes and villains. There's another really powerful woman who's the leader of that group. They're prisoners. They're, for the most part, they're criminals. Some of them are probably guards or crew of that ship. And it does become sort of the thing that we set up at the end of last season is the world is kind of still a wasteland except for this one valley where Clark is, and that's where they're landing. And so it will become a battle for Eden, a battle for the lone survivable place. And then when Octavia comes out of the bunker with one crew, we'll see what that feels like. But it will be there is not enough room for everybody unless they could figure out how to make it work, which probably won't be easy.